Just trying to get everybody signed in, check, see what's going on. All right. Well, jobs data is not looking really good, folks. What do you expect? I told you guys all this would happen. It's just absolutely unbelievable that the jobs are missing expectations. Now they're saying, oh, well, we're moving on the right track. Oh, things are getting better, but they're pretty lousy compared to what they expected and what we used to expect 5 years ago, 15 years ago, 25 years ago. It's always just like, oh, they're just using some type of nice wording and everything they can to make sure what's going on. And at the same time, a lot of people don't want to go back to work. The masks, the vaccines, everything. There are a lot of people that are losing their jobs because of the mandates and everything. And speaking of jobs and resources, we know it's very likely that a good chunk, not all I would say, but a good chunk of these jobs are going to be taken by illegals. We know that many of the illegals that get apprehended, many of them actually get released back into the United States. Now, this is just complete insanity that we're in right now. We've got like 60,000 of these illegals or so, probably who knows, hundreds of thousands, probably over 1 million so far that have been apprehended that essentially have been coming into the United States. Absolutely disgraceful. I mean, they really want to just destroy our sovereignty, destroy what we have left in this country. Think about all the safety impacts. I mean, you talk about health and safety impacts. A lot of these people have diseases. We don't know. These people could be gang members. They could be terrorizing. Where are they being sent across the United States? I heard some people say they've been dumped in states like Pennsylvania. You can obviously tell because it's a swing state. It's just unbelievable to see what's going on. Not to mention the public schools, remittances, fake social security numbers. But my question is, how the hell are you going to get the jobs when there's not enough jobs to go around? I mean, what are these people going to do? I can only imagine the only way is that they just can print, create dollars out of nothing, and then send those dollars to these migrants. They'll find one way or another. After all, birthright citizenship still takes effect in this country. It's just absolutely insane to see what's going on. And by the way, I want to make this very clear that I believe that they're going to be sending them to red and blue states, both of them, believe it or not. Because the fact is that they need to go to the blue states to prop up their population numbers because they know that obviously New York and California are losing people. So if their populations go down, it'll make them look really bad, and they need new voters to replace the people who left. And then, of course, they want to dump them in red states because those states are booming. And obviously, we know that, yeah, many illegals have left Las Vegas because of the jobs. Yeah, that's true. I don't think a lot of those illegals are really going to Nevada or California. I think a lot of them are probably going to Idaho, Tennessee, because that's where all the job growth is happening. So it's not like these out-of-state people are moving into those states. What's happening is those states are getting immigration, and it's literally, and I mean literally, changing their politics. That's what's really going on. So you can see the whole agenda behind what we're about to see. Now, the vaccine truth is really coming out. We see that a lot of people don't want to take the shot. I mean, look, there's 100 million of us or more. No matter what you do, no matter how you censor us, it's just not going to change. And obviously, we know that this economy is artificially propped up by the credit markets. So they need immigration and credit to pump up GDP, to pump up the stock market, to pump up that everything is looking okay, but the average person's getting worse. That's what we've been seeing since the 1970s. Absolutely. We know that our economy is not mainly based on goods and services. Our economy is mainly based on propping up immigrants and obviously credit. So people can borrow money, low interest rates, low standards, create bubbles, one after another. And of course, the problems they really don't get solved. Now, we know that the powers that be are doing everything they can to crack down on us. They're censoring us. They're even sending the FBI. And you see what the police and security have been doing to me, even though they never really arrest me, because I'm not doing anything wrong. They're just trying to suppress the voices. It's kind of funny how the FBI will go after people who speak out against CRT and people who speak out against masks on school boards and people who try to defend themselves on the Antifa and Black Lives Matter riots. But at the same time, what's happening is the law enforcement agency, which they're hypocrites because when they mean defund the police, they mean defund it for themselves. They go after people like us who speak out. This is really absolutely double standards. Now, this will prove that we are right. I do believe a lot of states and a lot of other groups are going to backfire and fight back with all this. You can see that the shooter obviously got bailed out. And they tell you, okay, well, all these law enforcement agencies, they're totally pro-white. They have a pro-white agenda on their hand. But we know that's a bunch of hogwash. I mean, the black guy who was a shooter in Texas was able to get bailed out. But of course, the establishment, where are they on this? Why are they constantly defending these people? It's just sickening. Now, I also wanted to point out, speaking of double standards, I filed a complaint against Tick Segerblom. So during that meeting, the same meeting that he approved the $500,000 for illegals, the same meeting where he also threw out Mac Miller and everybody else for not wearing masks and everything. And it's hypocritical because they don't have Zoom meetings in their conferences. It's just complete double standards. But Tick Segerblom was not wearing masks for 10 minutes. So I filed a complaint against Tick Segerblom, and hopefully justice is going to be served. Now, we know a lot of these politicians like Newsom, like Sisolak, the list goes on. They don't wear their masks. They're just complete double standards. And we know Pat Spearman is one of them. And she's like the Maxine Waters of the state of Nevada. And guess what? Well, Pat Spearman, believe it or not, is planning to run for North Las Vegas mayor. Well, good luck with that. Good luck. People are waking up to this double standards. I mean, can you believe it? This is the thing, like she can be loud and vicious, but as long as she can scream white privilege, she can just get away with it. Now, we did see a senator, Republican in the Reno area, he just resigned. I don't really trust a lot of these guys. I heard he's a complete sellout. Maybe they know what's coming. They know that heat is coming after he's part of the gaming commission and everything. We know that one former MGM Resorts executive has been facing trial and charges over the college admission scandal. So what I've been telling you, justice will come, and it's only a matter of time where Jim Murren will absolutely be held accountable. And speaking of Jim Murren, which he's the real governor of the state, not Sisolak. Sisolak is just a puppet. We know it's deep state, Wall Street, all these people, blockchains, Vanguard, blockchains, or BlackRock, or whatever you want to call it, they dropped their idea for a company town. So a lot of the stances, a lot of the policies of Sisolak, it's not coming to fruition. And not to mention the fact that his poll numbers are falling. 60% of the people believe that he hasn't handled the pandemic or plandemic, as Jen Psaki called it, very, very well. And that's obviously the nonpartisan voters. But now the Cook Political Report has moved from Sisolak's chances of winning re-election from likely Democrat to lean Democrat. And by the way, they did polls and show that Dina and Lombardo are slightly behind Sisolak. Now, they didn't obviously do polls of Joey Gilbert. Polled Joey Gilbert, well, then people like me would support Joey Gilbert over Sisolak. If it was the other two, we would definitely not support them. Sisolak is losing, and it's only a matter of the time the truth of the jabs come out, and we're going to really see what's going on. Now, speaking of the Las Vegas crippled economy, we know it's dead. We know the conventions are canceled. Visitors are far, far less than where they used to. Stimulus checks, unemployment, as all of it has been run out. But despite that, despite the fact the Stations Casino has shuttered at least two of their hotels, their fiestas, they're planning to open one in the southwest part of the Strip. Now, if a lot of these conspiracies come out, and maybe they do know that the population of the world is going to come down and there's going to be fewer visitors, I do believe a lot of these casino giants, they're going to need new casinos to keep visitors coming. They'll close the other ones, and then hopefully, they can let the other ones stay open or open new ones to keep their economy going, because people always want something new here in Las Vegas. Now, the Joe Biden approval rating is collapsing because in the mid 30s, I predicted this several months ago, and the fact that people are going to or were already regretting supporting Joe Biden. What did I tell you? Sell out to Wall Street, horrible foreign policy, more open borders chaos. So it's only a matter of time where this SOB is going to resign. And we know he's just a puppet. The real powers that be is Wall Street and the deep state, just like a lot of these scumbag politicians. What do you expect from all of these people? Now, I think he's going to go, and then we'll have to see. Maybe Kamala will likely take over. Yeah, Newsom, obviously. They keep defending, like, yeah, well, COVID cases in California are very low because of Newsom's and the vaccines. But then how do you explain other states that have much higher rates per capita, or other countries like Israel? They can't answer that. I have a feeling they are manipulating the PCR tests to basically make sure that Newsom was looking good in his recall, so he actually wins that election. And of course, they sign all these horrible laws. Like when it comes to you have to make sure that you let the other partner know that your condom is taking off when you're having intercourse. They're actually making that a crime. So they're adding new laws that don't make sense, that's just completely insane, and then they decriminalize others. This is where they're crapping down on us in other ways, but they're allowing other laws that are supposed to help. They're making sure that those laws are getting out of hand. They're decriminalizing or reducing them from felonies to misdemeanors. It's absolutely insane. Double standards. And they're pushing ethnic studies. It's just crazy. We know that it's only a matter of time where this economy is shaking up. The housing market is imploding. Only a matter of time. It's slowing down. The government efforts are not there anymore. Price appreciation is slowing down. Like I said, the only shot they have is to buy more MBS, mortgage-backed securities, lower mortgage rates at 0%. But there's going to be a time where those things can't work anymore, because at 0% mortgage rates, the frenzy is not going to last forever. And it's only a matter of time this is going to implode, and there's going to be different ways of construction methods to increase supply. So sometime, either next year or in the next few years, depending on how they do this, the market's going to blow up. And that's what's keeping this economy on life support. Right now, gas prices are going up. It's hard to say where that's going, but supply has been increasing. Inventories has been going up. There's just no question about it. Stock market, I'm not looking very bullish about it, at least for short term. We'll have to see, because we know that the GDP and the economy, we're going to have slower growth in the coming years. Bitcoin is still looking good, but other than that, things are going to get really shaky. People are seeing more of the truths about the vaccines. There's just this mass awakening going on, and you tell me, you let me know what's going on. All these strange things going on. My goodness, a very, very critical time. I think when more and more people wake up, more and more people protest, they're going to have regrets, and then people are just going to go crazy. You're just going to see chaos get out of hand. Things are going to look really, really creepy this winter, and especially in the next spring. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Please share. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys around.